Hello Magic players, SkyLagger speaking from France, and today we are discussing the recent unbans in Modern of Jace, the Mind Sculptor, and Bloodbraid Elf. So first of all, I really want to apologize about the poor video and audio quality, but I'm currently on vacation at my parents'. But considering the recent changes, someone on the channel asked me if I could do a video about the recent unbans and express my opinion, so I don't have my usual gear, but I really wanted to do a video about that if that's something you could be interested in. So my apologies, and if you hear some weird noises, it's just my cat, my parents' cat, which is a very loud chewer, and that's just him eating some stuff. So apologies for that too.
Are you ready to
take control of the game?
Did I just break it?
As an ex-Legacy player, I really like seeing my old favorite toy in my all-time favorite format. But my joy is somewhat undermined by the fact that Jace being spoiled in Master 25 only like 10 days ago, just to be unbound now, just prove that they made that to sell packs. But here is the thing, Wizard has to sell more packs. Even though they are selling more and more packs every year and Magic is currently in very healthy state, our Magic community is getting older and older. Despite their effort to bring in teenagers and females into this wonderful game that Magic the Gathering is, their new customers don't compensate the loss of their oldest one or the one that just quit for other priorities, because yeah, you have to pay a rent and you just can't tell your children to go and sell lemonade to pay for their school, right? So because they don't have figured out yet how to include younger players and females in the game, they have to sell more and more packs, because a company that doesn't grow is a company that falls. So that's why you can't really blame Wizards of the Coast for wanting to sell more packs. You can blame the manner, but you really can't blame the intention. Selling more means that they have some sort of nest and they can take more risks to make new products or make more products. Our getting angry and boycotting Master 25 products or other products just hurts us as much as it already hurts them. Because let's face it, Magic is not any random video or card game. Just like Go or chess, it's more like a sport that helps you dealing with frustration, helps you improving on tenacity, strategy, concentration, and also having a passion. And we don't want Magic to disappear. Yeah, it's been around for 25 years, but tomorrow it can be gone. I repeat, it can be gone tomorrow. And if you boycott products, you are just maybe hasting the disappearing of Magic the Gathering. I'm not telling you that you should buy whatever new product they come with. I'm just telling you that just like you would do with your favorite band or your colleague, you can't just try to cut their income to punish them for a bad decision. If you can afford Master 25 and if you had originally planned to buy some packs, why would you boycott it? You're not unhappy with the product, you're unhappy with the policy, with the unban. So don't boycott Master 25 just because you've seen that Jace the Mind Sculptor has been unbanned and is now in the 25 product. If you are unhappy with the unbans, just let them know. For the better or the worst, Wizard of the Coast never has before listened that much to their community and their customers. So you can express your feelings and you can even be listened. As a control player, you learn the hardest way that the game is often over before you can cast your Supreme Verdict on turn 4. And Supreme Verdict has a huge and immediate impact on the game. I don't see Jace the Mind Sculptor being too busted in Modern, just because it doesn't really have that much of an impact for a turn 4. So yeah, it's gonna be busted, but Modern has plenty of busted cards, and I'm not really worrying about the inner power Jace the Mind Sculptor in Modern. The true question is modern metagame diversity. Seeing two very polarizing cards introduced in a very balanced and healthy metagame is kind of worrying. I hear people saying that Lantern Control is going to be unbeatable thanks to Jace, and I don't really agree with that. First, because they cannot find Jace with Ancient Steerings and Word of Invention. And secondly, Jace is going to be a very strong card against Lantern Control. And last but not least, Bloodbraid Elf is going to be disastrous for Lantern Control. Bloodbraid into Kolaghan's command is going to have a huge impact on the game, and I really think that the unban of Bloodbraid Elf can compensate for the introduction of Jace in Lantern Control. The bad thing with Jace's unban is that it's gonna be very, very powerful in Control, but only for the matchups that were already good for Control, which are the fair matchups. So Jace is mainly punishing players for playing fair. And okay, this is a concern, but on the other hand, we have two new decks that are gonna be maybe tier 1 or tier 2. Blue, red, green, and blue, green, black. So Jace may increase metagame diversity. Now you will be able to play almost every 3 colors deck combination and be interactive, which is kind of cool, you have to admit. And last, Jace is very polarizing. People will play Jace just because they like to play it and because it's not a cheap card, so once you bought it, you want to play it. And they will play Jace whether it's good or bad, which means that we will see an increase in fair and interactive decks in the metagame, which is also a great point. The main downside is that we are going to see the coming back of not interactive turn 3 or turn 4 fast decks. Just countermeasure the popularity of Jace and the fact that the metagame is getting slowly and slowly slower. So we might just see coming back decks that were pushed back by the banning of Gitaxian Probe and the introduction of Fatal Push last year. One big difference though with last year's metagame, and that is Death Shadow. Yeah, Death Shadow. You might not like the deck, but the deck can be a very, very strong police deck just to keep things in check in this modern metagame. So yeah, I truly hope and think that Modern has now what it takes to keep in check Jace and Bloodbraid in this new metagame. But I also firmly believe that we are going to see some cycles in the metagame with some new decks rising and decks rising too because they prey upon the first one, and so a new deck will appear or reappear in the tier 1 or tier 2 sphere and prey upon the second one, and so on. Modern metagame balance won't be as it is now, but if you take a larger picture and if you consider metagame shifts, there will be a sort of balance, but only because of cycles, not because many decks can just coexist and be good at the same time. Jace will first be played a lot, and the metagame is probably going to be a little slower, but then soon, turn 3 non-interactive and linear decks are going to prey upon those control-ish builds, and the metagame is going to be very, very fast. And then mid-range should do its job and keep things in check. Then again, the metagame being a little slower will be more favorable for more control-ish decks to be tier 1, and so on. The giant question mark is, will mid-range decks still be able to play their police role in the modern metagame? Black-green mid-range decks will be either more explosives because they will want to play Bloodbraid Elf, or more control-ish if they decide just to play Jace. The main loser here is Abzan because it just doesn't get anything new from this unban. Grixis Shadow will also have a hard time dealing with Jace because it already has some problems dealing with bounces, effects, and planeswalkers, and Jace does both. So I said that the main difference between the very fast linear metagame that we had last year and this one, and the one we will probably know, is that there is now Death Shadow, and mainly Grixis Death Shadow. But the main question is, will Grixis Death Shadow still be able to play this role in Modern? The great news is that we don't know what Temur and Sultai will be able to do in Modern, and maybe we'll see a little bit of a share of this role in the Modern metagame between mid-range decks. So I truly hope that mid-range decks will be able to play their role in the Modern metagame, but yeah, nothing is certain right now. Okay, so my personal thoughts. Do I like cycling metagames? No, because it forces players to just fine-tune every week or every 2 weeks their lists to be really sure that they are playing the best and the more effective lists. And they have to buy new cards, watch some more videos, read articles, and spend less time playing. So no, I don't like cycling metagames. Will Jace and Bloodbraid Elf unban kill Modern? No. Because players really like Modern, they have invested in it, and I really think that the metagame has what it takes to be somewhat balanced. And remember, unbans don't make decks unplayable, they just make some decks less playable or less powerful, but not unplayable. And Modern is the place where you can play whatever you want and still be able to win. And last, am I worried about the future of Modern? Not really. I mean, they could just re-ban Jace if things just go out of control. Maybe in 6 months, or for the next Pro Tour, Wizard was realized that Jace or Bloodbraid or both are too powerful. Maybe, and I wish that's what will happen, they realize that they need another unban just to stabilize a little bit more the metagame, and I really hope they just unban more cards and stop banning cards. Banning hurt. Having a less powerful deck doesn't really hurt. You can be upset, but you didn't lose money and you didn't lose the deck you really enjoyed playing. My advice, if you don't like seeing your cards get banned, don't buy and don't play Bloodbraid Elf and Jace the Mind Sculptor. They might not last very long in the metagame. If you don't like buying into decks and practicing them for months just to see them underpowered by something or metagame shift, don't change deck just because of those unbans. Don't rush onto the new turn 3 linear deck if you don't want to play that already, because if the metagame changes, you might just regret it and wish you hadn't done that. And if you are too worried, well, just take a break from Modern for a while, or just from the competitive scene. Do something else, play Pauper, that's the right time to do so. Make more drafts, more sealed. Maybe build a cube with your friends and play a lot just for fun. Or just take a break from Magic altogether and do the thing you say you will do later every time someone tells you you should do it. Think, well, yeah, that thing. For me, it's just getting back to sport and losing weight, so pick a thing. Breaks when they are not motivated by fear, anger, or frustration are very healthy. They help you refocusing on what you first liked the most in what you are doing. They help you getting a fresh start, losing bad habits. So to conclude, I prefer trusting Wizards' decisions and players' ability just to build some great deck and innovate. Storm is still good in Modern even after several bans, and if players really want to play Modern in an interactive way, I really think and hope that it will remain interactive. But in the end, if this unban makes things go wrong, don't hide behind the excuse, my friend. Yeah, the I want to win more excuse. If you are not a pro player, you don't have the necessity to win every game and every tournament. So you don't have to pick the best deck. Just play what you really enjoy playing. If you hate non-interactive decks, don't play them. If you hate prison cards, don't play them. Sure, some players will, some always will, and that's just because not all players are looking for the same thing in Magic the Gathering. Some want to win, some want to play interactive long games, some just want to gather and meet new friends, and you can't and you shouldn't blame anyone for switching deck and maybe play what you consider unfun. But I think that every player has to face his or her own responsibility when it comes to metagame. The real question is, what do I want my metagame to look like? And if you can honestly answer to this question, I think that you know deep down if you have to just switch deck and play a new one, or just stick to the one you are already playing because you think that it makes Magic, our Magic environment, a better place. Thank you for watching. I hope the quality of the video and the audio wasn't too much of a problem, and see you in the normal video and game series later this week. Bye bye!